The story you are about to hear does not begin with darkness. It begins with sunlight on a quiet Ohio morning. Children walking to school, a small town breathing peacefully. The kind of place where neighbors know each other's names and doors are left unlocked because fear has never learned to live there. It begins with a boy named Lester, born into a world that looked ordinary from the outside. A world of modest homes and working hands and church bells on Sunday mornings. No one in those early years could have guessed that this child, with his soft voice and cautious smile, would one day carve his name into one of the most chilling criminal sagas in American history. No one could have predicted that decades later, his name would be spoken in hushed tones by law enforcement across the nation, printed on wanted posters, whispered in prison hallways, and searched for in the shadows of countless cities. Hello friends, welcome back to the true story on our channel Crime Chronicles US, where America's unsolved mysteries, vanished criminals, and chilling cases come alive. Every story is real, every detail matters, and the truth remains buried in the shadows. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to stay updated with every mystery. Lester Eubanks was born in 1943 in the state of Ohio, raised in a family that never had much but held tightly to discipline and routine. From early childhood, he was quiet, withdrawn, a boy who watched more than he spoke. Teachers noted he was intelligent but detached, as though part of him was always drifting elsewhere. Other children ran and laughed, but Lester often stood still, studying them. Studying the world, absorbing details with unsettling patience. His adolescence carried the same pattern, a growing sense that he didn't belong anywhere fully. Not in school, not in social circles, not even inside his own home. By his teenage years, he had begun showing signs of emotional disturbance. Though in the 1950s and early 60s, such things were poorly understood and rarely treated with care. Instead, troubled youth were labeled difficult, strange, or broken, and quietly left to navigate their own storms. In his early 20s, Lester drifted through short-term jobs, never staying long, never forming roots. He married briefly, the relationship collapsing under the weight of his instability. By 1965, he had moved to Mansfield, Ohio, where he took a job at a dry cleaning shop. To customers, he seemed polite and reserved, a man who kept his head down and worked. But beneath the surface, his mind was unraveling. Later evaluations would suggest deep psychological disturbance, but at the time, no one recognized how close he was to a breaking point. On a cold November morning in 1965, the quiet town of Mansfield would be shaken forever. A 14-year-old girl named Mary Ellen Diener entered the dry cleaning shop where Lester worked. She was a typical teenager, stopping in to collect clothes for her family. She smiled politely. She had no reason to fear the man behind the counter. But in the minutes that followed, Lester's inner world erupted into real-world horror. He attacked the girl inside the shop, overpowering her, dragging her to the back room. What happened next was violent, tragic, and senseless. Mary Ellen was stabbed and left dying on the floor. Lester fled the scene. The crime stunned the town. Police quickly focused on him as the suspect. Witnesses described his sudden disappearance. Evidence led straight to him. He was arrested shortly after and charged with murder. The trial that followed revealed disturbing details: mental instability, violent impulses, confusion in his own explanations of the crime. In 1966, Lester Eubanks was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison. Behind bars, the years passed in gray repetition. Prison life swallowed time. But Lester did not fade into obscurity. Guards noted odd behaviors, unpredictable moods, a man who sometimes seemed calm and gentle, and other times frighteningly detached. In the 1970s, during an era when prisons experimented with rehabilitation programs, Lester was placed in a temporary furlough program designed to help inmates transition back into society. It was meant to test trust, to prepare prisoners for eventual release. For most participants, it was a brief taste of freedom before returning to serve the remainder of their sentence. In 1973, Lester Eubanks walked out of prison on a temporary furlough. He was supposed to return. He never did. The moment he failed to come back, a switch flipped in law enforcement offices. What had once been a convicted murderer serving time had now become an escaped fugitive. His face was circulated. Alerts went out. The search began. And yet, Lester vanished like smoke, slipping between states, crossing highways, disappearing into cities where strangers passed him daily, without knowing they were brushing shoulders with a man who had once killed a child, and walked away from his prison walls. In December 1973, the Federal Bureau of Investigation officially added Lester Eubanks to its 10 most wanted fugitives list. His photograph was pinned in post offices, police stations, newspapers. His name was broadcast on radio and television. He became one of the most sought-after criminals in the United States. The man who once stood quietly behind a dry cleaning counter in Ohio was now the subject of a nationwide manhunt. Years turned into decades. Sightings were reported across states. Tips came in. Investigators chased leads that dissolved into dead ends. Some believed he had changed his name, altered his appearance, built a new life under a stolen identity. Others believed he was dead, but no body was ever found. No confirmation ever arrived. The mystery only deepened. How could a convicted murderer simply vanish in a country covered in roads, records, and law enforcement agencies? How could a man wanted by the FBI live unseen for so long? And as the world moved forward, technology advanced, and generations changed, Lester Eubanks remained a ghost of unfinished justice. His wanted poster aging but never removed. His crime never forgotten. His absence an open wound in the history of American manhunts. And this is where the story pauses for a breath, because the second part is where the shadows grow longer, the chase becomes stranger, and the question that has haunted investigators for decades rises louder than ever. Where is Lester Eubanks now? Some stories fade with time, softened by distance, blurred by memory. But some stories sharpen. They grow teeth. They whisper at the edges of the present. The case of Lester Eubanks is one of those stories. Every passing year since his escape has added another layer of myth to his name. To law enforcement, he is a cold file that refuses to close. To the families touched by the tragedy, he is a wound that never fully heals. To the public, he is a question mark that never found its period. After his disappearance, investigators worked tirelessly. They traced old acquaintances. They studied his behavior. They tried to predict where a man like him might go. Some believed he fled to large cities, where anonymity was easy. Others thought he might hide in small towns, blending into communities where no one asked questions. Tips came from all over the country. A man in a diner, a figure in a bus station, a quiet tenant renting a room under a false name. Every report sparked hope, then disappointment, as leads collapsed under verification. Psychologists who studied his case proposed that Lester was capable of building a quiet life under an assumed identity. He was not flamboyant. He did not seek attention. He was reserved, controlled, able to appear harmless. Those traits, combined with a time period before digital tracking and interconnected databases, made his disappearance possible. In the 1970s and 80s, a person could reinvent themselves with a fake name, a new job, and a calm demeanor. And if Lester succeeded, he may have lived for years among ordinary people who never knew who sat across from them at dinner tables, in workplaces, or on front porches during summer evenings. Meanwhile, his name remained on wanted lists, Posters aged, paper turned yellow. Photographs showed a younger man frozen in time, while the real Lester, somewhere out there, aged silently. The FBI never closed his case. Even as newer fugitives replaced him on the 10 most wanted list, his file stayed open. His escape became part of criminal history, one of the longest-running fugitive mysteries in America. Some wondered if guilt haunted him. Some wondered if he ever thought of Mary Ellen Diener, a life he took in a moment of violence. Did he dream of that day? Did he fear being recognized? Did he ever look over his shoulder on quiet nights, hearing sirens in his imagination? Or did he simply detach, burying the past so deeply that even he forgot its weight? As the decades passed, technology evolved. Fingerprint databases expanded. DNA tracking advanced. Surveillance cameras spread across cities. The world became smaller, more connected, harder to disappear in. If Lester had lived long enough to witness this change, he would have watched the walls close in on people like him. And yet still, no confirmed capture, no official death notice, no resolution. Today, Lester Eubanks is presumed either deceased or extremely elderly. But in the records of American law enforcement, his case remains unresolved. A child lost, a family left with unanswered questions, a justice system left with an empty cell that was never refilled. It is about how fragile normal life can be, how a quiet man can carry storms inside him, how a single violent act can ripple across generations, and how sometimes the search for truth stretches beyond time itself. And so the tale closes not with an arrest, not with a courtroom, not with handcuffs clicking shut, but with an echo. A name on a file, a photograph on an old poster, a question lingering in the air. If you walk through a crowded street, past a stranger with a calm face and quiet eyes, you might think nothing of it. But somewhere in that thought lies the unsettling truth this story leaves behind. Some ghosts are never proven dead. Some fugitives are never proven free. And some stories never truly end. They simply fade into the background of history, waiting for the day someone finally turns the page. So friends, if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Crime Chronicles US for more chilling, unsolved mysteries from across America. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next story.